Warning, the following 30-minute pre-recorded podcast contains a guy giving his own personal opinions going on in sports, entertainment, and other things happening in the world, but no politics. Also, he will try his best not to swear, but then again, he might let out a swear or two loose because that's how people talk sometimes. So, if you do not want to hear him babble and possibly swear for about 30 minutes, you may click out at this time. And if you have not clicked off, enjoy the podcast.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's showtime.
Hello everybody, welcome to Colton's Not So Live podcast, the podcast where Ohio State is still number one in the country, even though they kinda struggled against Ohio. But that's okay, because the AP and coaches poll are smart. Because, Ohio State's still number one, which is good. It's very good. And I'm pretty happy about it. So, yeah. Well, there was a lot of things happening in the college football world last week. Seriously, there was a lot. And you're probably like, how much is a lot? We're talking about, crazy stuff happening that's changing the college football world. And we'll get to that all later. Excuse me. But first, let's talk about Ohio State and Ohio. Not gonna lie, Ohio gave us a bit of a game. And I really didn't think it was going to be, that all, back and forth. Honestly, our offense kind of struggled a bit. But, we still won. And, that's all that matters. A win's a win. So, yeah. Also, what I saw last Saturday is Bo Jackson again. And he did spectacular as our running back. And we also had CJ Donaldson and James Peoples run a few plays too, but I don't think they got that same amount of explosion plays that Bo Jackson had. 'Cause seriously, Bo Jackson, he can make plays. And there is no doubt in my mind that Bo Jackson should be, running back one. Bo Jackson should be running back one because Bo Jackson, he can make plays and he has a burst of speed. I haven't seen that since Zeke Elliott. Seriously. I am literally comparing Bo Jackson to Zeke Elliott because literally, once you get him a hole opened up for him and he runs through that hole, it reminds me of Zeke. It clearly reminds me of Zeke Elliott. Excuse me. And the last time we had a really, really, really good freshman running back, it was Maurice Clarett in 2002. And that year we won the national championship. So, if we promote Bo Jackson to running back number one, I think we'll win a national championship. Maybe, I don't know. I still want to focus on the season. I'm getting too much ahead of myself. But seriously, Ohio State should consider Bo Jackson as running back number one. Seriously. They should really consider that. The defense... We're moving on to Ohio State's defense. The defense, it was good, but not great. They messed up on some plays and also let Ohio score a crazy touchdown and stuff. So, yeah. Defense needs a little bit of work. But there is one player that stood out for me, and I'm pretty sure a lot of Buckeye fans, that basically, did pretty well in this game. And that's number 8, Arvell Reese. And honestly, Arvell Reese is going to be a very, very important piece to our defense. He is going to be a very, very important piece to our defense because dude can hit and dude can sack and the dude can stop anything. So if we put him in like as an extra man up front in like a blitz play, I'm pretty sure we can stop a run or have him sack the quarterback. It was like 4th down or something. Well, 3rd or 4th down. And honestly, I think he can play any kind of coverage. Well, technically, probably only 2 coverages: zone and blitz. He can play zone and blitz. That's kind of, I don't know how well he's in man, but if he's good on man coverage, then put him in a man coverage as well. But preferably, I like him to see him in zone and blitz coverage, because in zone coverage, he can do some damage. Blitz, even more damage. So yeah, I'd keep him as my, secret weapon in like blitz formations and zone formations, because he's a very, very important piece to that defense, especially on zone plays and blitz plays. And we got to keep him healthy. 100%. Just like every other player. 100%. We need them 100% ready to go. So, yeah. And a little fun fact about Arvell Reese. He went to Glenville High School. So, yeah, a little fun fact for you. He went to Glenville High School just like Troy Smith, Ted Ginn Jr., Cardell Jones. Yeah. So, yeah, we get a lot of talent from Glenville. And it's great. So, yeah. So, with Ohio State winning, we are now 3-0. I believe we beat Ohio like 37-9, I think. I'm not quite sure, but I'm double checking right now. Yeah, 37-9. So yeah, we beat them 37-9. And now we have a bye week. Hooray! Excuse me. And now, after that bye week, we have to play Washington. And it's a 3:30 kickoff. I'm pretty sure. Although it does say to be determined on the ESPN app, it's got to be a 3:30 kickoff. If it's a 7 p.m. kickoff, I might be able to see probably the second half of the game because I work for a living. So, yeah. All right. Now, I think we're done talking about Ohio State football for the moment. So, time to talk about the rest of the college football world. Holy crap, it was crazy. LSU, they struggled against Florida, and then Brian Kelly argued with the media about his team's performance. And honestly, Brian Kelly should just look himself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I'm not doing well. Because Brian Kelly is basically blaming, the media for how... He's basically blaming the media for things that he doesn't see. Like, bro, we all can see what your team's doing. Take some freaking responsibility, dude. But no, Brian Kelly doesn't want to do that because Brian Kelly wants to do whatever he wants to do. So, yeah, Brian Kelly, I wouldn't have him coach Ohio State if he's going to go around blaming, what the people say and what the media says. Because honestly, if he goes around saying, oh, we didn't do that, you guys are a bunch of liars, you suck, then you shouldn't be a college football coach. Like, seriously, come on, stop with that crap. You're acting like a freaking child, dude. And honestly, I hope he hears this. I hope Brian Kelly hears this saying I call him a child, because he's acting like a child. It's unprofessional, And LSU should be like, hey, Brian, stop acting like a child. You're a grown man, for God's sakes. But they're probably not going to do it. So, whatever. Also, South Florida, they are not legit. Even though they upset Boise State in Florida, they failed to upset Miami, and Miami decimated them. So, South Florida, they are not legit. So, they will not be making the playoffs this year. So, yeah. So, you can cross off South Florida for your playoff predictor, whatever. So, yeah, South Florida, not a playoff team. Tennessee, they blew it. They had a chance to beat Georgia for the first time in years. And what did they do instead? They blew it. They had the lead, and they blew it. Had a chance to, rewrite history in the series, and they blew it. Pat McAfee chose you guys to win the game, and you blew it. Desmond Howard picked Georgia. He was smart. Nick Saban, he picked Georgia. He was smart. But man, Pat McAfee and who was the guest picker? I think it was Candace Parker. Wasn't Candace Parker the guest picker? I'm pretty sure she was the guest picker. Candace Parker, guest picker? I think she was. I think she was. I'm pretty sure. Excuse me. Yeah, she was the guest picker. I feel bad for Pat McAfee and Candace Parker. Because, seriously, I honestly thought Tennessee was going to win. Pat McAfee and Candace Parker, they thought Tennessee was going to win. But no, they blew it and let down Pat McAfee and Candace Parker. But that doesn't really mean Tennessee is out of the SEC title race. If they possibly win out the rest of the season, they might have a chance. They might. It all depends on what happens next. So, yeah. Texas A&M. They went to South Bend in front of Touchdown Jesus and beat the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 41-40. And it's all thanks to Notre Dame's field goal kicker. Well, not the field goal kicker, but the football holder. The holder who goofed it up and tried to, do some cool stuff and blew it. He pulled a Tony Romo. That's basically what he did. He pulled a Tony Romo. Remember when Tony Romo screwed up that hold and he tried to pull off something amazing? Yeah, that was a Tony Romo moment. Tony Romo moment in South Bend. And Notre Dame is now 0-2, and you can technically write them out of the playoffs too, because there's no way that they're going to be let in the playoffs with the softest schedule they have left. Like, seriously. There's no way. There's absolutely no way Notre Dame comes back from this. They're not going to be playoff contention material. They are not. And what's crazy is they're still ranked, and they're above USC, who's 25th. Which is insane. And they're the first team since 1988 to be ranked after being 0-2. And that 1988 team that was ranked after being 0-2 was that team up north. Ugh. But don't worry, Notre Dame's not going to make the playoffs. So yeah, so we'll have a new national runner-up this year, and it won't be the Irish again, sadly. So yeah. Also, Vanderbilt. They went to South Carolina, and they upset the Gamecocks. So that means Vanderbilt is not terrible. They're not terrible anymore. If they could upset number 1 Alabama last year, and now they're starting to upset South Carolina. Bro, Vanderbilt, if they find a way to beat Tennessee at the end of the season, we might see Vanderbilt freaking in the SEC championship. But then again, I do want to go and see who they have left to play, because holy crap. Vanderbilt is not the same old Vanderbilt anymore. They are not the same old Vanderbilt at all. So they got Georgia State this week. Okay, so technically nobody. But they will win that one. And then they play Utah State, which they'll win. Excuse me. And then they got Alabama at Alabama. Ooh. That might be a tough one. But then again, Alabama did lose to them last year. So anything can happen in that game. Oh, they got to play LSU, but it's at home. Yeah, they might have a shot. And then they play Missouri. Okay, that might be a tough one too. And then they play, oh my God, they play Texas. Oh boy, and then Auburn, and then Kentucky. Okay, I take back what I said. Vanderbilt might not make the SEC championship, but if somehow by miracle they are able to win out and even beat Texas and Alabama and Missouri and LSU and all those guys, including Tennessee, we might see Vanderbilt play for an SEC championship, which is insane. But then again, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So, yeah. Now, on to Clemson. They have still not recovered after the 2021 Sugar Bowl semifinal game against Ohio State. They have not. Because, Dabo Swinney, he doesn't have Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence anymore. He doesn't have that firepower to win championships anymore. I think Dabo Swinney should just retire after this season, because him not, using the transfer portal and doing NIL and all that stuff, yeah, he's about to be gone after this season. That's my prediction. Dabo retires after this season, which I hope that happens. Seriously, I do. And Georgia Tech, they look pretty good. Especially upsetting Clemson. Now, looking at Georgia Tech's remaining schedule. So they have Temple this week. Then they got Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Duke, Syracuse, NC State, Boston College. Wow, they play nobody in the ACC. Okay, so yeah, if they win out in the ACC, they're going to the ACC championship. And then the last game of the season is against Georgia in the clean old-fashioned hate game. And if they somehow beat Georgia in that game, Georgia Tech might be a playoff team. Seriously. And hell, they might win the ACC, but they might have to play SMU, because I really think SMU might win the ACC this year. And be like their first ever Power 4 conference championship. Maybe even was the Southwest Conference a Power 5 conference? Because, well, let's see. The Power 5 conferences were, well, they're the SEC, the Big Ten, ACC, and then you had the Big 8 and the Pac-10 back then. I don't think the Southwest Conference was a Power 5 conference or a Power Conference at all. Because the Southwest Conference consisted of a couple of Texas teams and Arkansas. So, yeah. And fun fact, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, they used to be part of the Southwest Conference, and then they joined the Big 8 Conference, which would turn into the Big 12 Conference. Just a little fun fact for you. So, yeah. If SMU wins out, they win their first ACC championship and their first Power 4 conference championship, but who knows? Georgia Tech might go up against anybody else in the ACC title game. But yeah, I do believe Georgia Tech might be a force to be reckoned with, especially in the regular season. I mean, if they beat Georgia, it is shocking. It will be the most shocking upset. And also, Georgia might not make the playoffs. Or they still might. Who knows? But they might be, below Georgia Tech in the playoff rankings. And, yeah. And who knows? Georgia Tech, they might get a first round bye. Who knows? Who knows? Anything could happen. But then again, they're doing the straight seeding this year, so who knows? They might get a first round bye. They might not. They might just get a playoff spot. But either way, the landscape of college football in the teams and stuff, it's changing, and it is crazy change, and I love it. And while we're on this subject of college football, it's time to talk about the coaching. Because we now have our first coaching fires of the season. And they're from Power 4 conference teams. So, yeah. Coach is getting fired after week 3. Crazy. So, UCLA's head coach, Deshaun Foster, got fired after losing to New Mexico, which is pretty insane. And then Brent Pry was also fired. He was Virginia Tech's head coach, and he lost to Old Dominion, which is also insane. So yeah, Brent Pry and Deshaun Foster both fired from Virginia Tech and UCLA. And now Virginia Tech and UCLA have to find head coaches for next season. Now, if you ask me, I think Deshaun Foster getting fired is a little bit extreme. Because he was like starting his second season, wasn't he? He just took over for Chip Kelly, who came to Ohio State to win a national championship. And in his first season, obviously he struggled a bit. He struggled a bit in his first season. Because UCLA, they went 5-7 overall, 3-6 in the Big Ten. So obviously he was a bit of a struggler. But then, all of a sudden, they lose to Utah, UNLV, and New Mexico, and UCLA is like, okay, you're done here. Like, wow. That's pretty shocking. It's shocking and crazy that UCLA doesn't, wait until after the end of the season to do that. They're like, okay, 3 games is enough. We've seen enough. He's gone. Like, bro. That's crazy. So, yeah. It sucks that he got fired, But, UCLA, they want winners. So, yeah, I guess UCLA kind of decided to bite the bullet and just fire him for some reason. But to be honest, UCLA should have won against UNLV in New Mexico. I don't know how they lost to those guys, but crazy stuff happens. So I think the rest of the season without any head coach, UCLA is going to struggle. I know they got the interim head coach, but I think UCLA is going to struggle a whole lot without their head coach. So, yeah. With the interim, definitely struggling. And without their head coach, without Deshaun Foster, it's going to be a bit of a train wreck for UCLA the rest of the way. Now on to Virginia Tech and Brent Pry. Brent Pry. He got fired after losing to Old Dominion. To Old Dominion. Seriously. Old Dominion beat Virginia Tech again. How is crazy? It boggles my mind. Seriously. Old Dominion. They are known to beating Virginia Tech for quite a while. Especially when Old Dominion was in the FCS. Because Old Dominion, when they were in the FCS, they were able to beat Virginia Tech. And when that happened, Virginia Tech's coaches, their head coach, they get fired. Seriously, they get fired. And you want to know the craziest stat is, everybody? Folks, the craziest stat is Virginia Tech leads the series against Old Dominion 4-3. Yeah. Ever since Frank Beamer, the legendary Virginia Tech head coach, retired after the 2015 season, Virginia Tech has lost to Old Dominion 3 times. Once in 2018, 2022, and 2025, which is this year. 2 wins were at Old Dominion's house, and this is the first Old Dominion's beaten Virginia Tech in Virginia Tech's house. And next year, Virginia Tech has to play Old Dominion at their place. So, ladies and gentlemen, whoever's the next head coach of Virginia Tech, they're going to lose to Old Dominion. Start putting a bet right now. Old Dominion defeats Virginia Tech in 2026. Put that bet in, and you'll win tons of money. But then, again, disclaimer, I'm not really a sports genius, and I do not, condone gambling. But if you want to make a crazy bet and say Old Dominion is going to defeat Virginia Tech next year, put that bet in right now. But only if you want to. But I'm not recommending you do. So, yeah. And Luke Fickell. Let's talk about Luke Fickell. He lost to Alabama. And I do believe that Luke Fickell's on the hot seat because he blew it against Alabama. Many people thought, Wisconsin had a shot, and then he blew it. So, Luke Fickell, you're being put on notice. So if you screw up a couple of more times, you could be going. And hey, maybe you can come back to Ohio State as a defensive consultant. We wouldn't mind taking you back. We love Luke Fickell. Don't we love Luke Fickell, Ohio State fans? Don't we? I do. So, yeah. And, crazy I put this into my script for this episode. But, it's crazy I'm nearing the 30-minute mark, but we're just gonna get over with it. My Cleveland Browns, they suck, and the Bengals, they are currently on life support because Joe Burrow is going to be out 3 months with turf toe surgery. So, yeah, the Bengals right now, season's on life support. If they can win 5 or more games while Joey B is out, they might have a chance. But I think they are going to be struggling a bit, possibly. Who knows? But if they win 5 more games, they might be fine and they might make the playoffs. If not, then they're screwed. As for the Browns, they should bench Flacco, put in Shadur or Sanders or Dylan Gabriel and be done with it. So, yeah. Also, I don't think the Browns are going to make the playoffs, which is going to be sad. And also this week, the Browns are playing an undefeated Packers team, so put your money on the Packers. Packers by $1 billion. And it's crazy that Joe Burrow got injured again. Like, he's been injured so many times. I also heard that a lot of the fan base is asking for Joe Burrow to be traded, which is pretty insane. Like, I was on Twitter saying, there was like this tweet saying, I know I'm a Bengals fan, but I think Cincinnati should trade Joe Burrow because he's getting too injury prone and we need a young quarterback to, not be injured and stuff and making plays and stuff. Which is pretty insane coming from the Cincinnati fan base. I didn't think they'd be tired with Joe Burrow, but I guess they are tired with Joe Burrow and they want a new quarterback. So, Joe Burrow might be traded, he might not be traded. We just gotta wait and see. But it all depends on if Joe Burrow is healthy. I know a lot of my friends who are Cincinnati fans are like, oh, Colton, that's lies. That's not true. You're talking out of your butt. Maybe I am, or maybe I'm not. Who knows? But yeah, we just gotta wait and see. It's too early to tell, so yeah, just gotta wait. Alright, enough about the pro football stuff and college football and stuff. So yeah, done talking about college and pro football. Now it's time to move on to week 5 of my high school football picks. Last week, I went 15-6, and I got the game of the week correct. Hooray! So this week, got a lot of games. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And that includes the game of the week. So 17 games. So a chance to go 17-0. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Also, there's a ranked team that doesn't play this week, and it's Shelby High School. They're ranked 21st in the Columbus metro area. So Shelby High School, not playing this week. Crazy. Didn't think high schools could do bye weeks, but I guess they can. So we're starting off this week with a top 10 matchup. Number 10 Harvest Prep against number 1 Bishop Watterson. I'm going with Bishop Watterson. Harvest Prep ain't got a chance. Next up, Central Crossing against number 2 Upper Arlington. Upper Arlington because Central Crossing does not have a chance. Thomas Worthington against number 3 Pickerington North. Pickerington North is going to win because Thomas Worthington does not have a chance. So yeah. Alright, next one we got a rivalry game. Number 5 Olentangy Orange against number 14 Olentangy Berlin. I'm going with Olentangy Orange. I just think Olentangy Orange is going to destroy Berlin. And, yeah, that'll be it. All right, now we got number 18, Westerville South against number 6, Big Walnut. Now, last week, my alma mater somehow shockingly beat Dublin Scioto. I didn't think they had a chance against Scioto. But, don't worry. They're not going to have a chance against Big Walnut. So, sorry, Westerville South. I'm going with the Big Nut. And yes, I did say I'm going with the Big Nut. What? It's what they call... It's like a nickname for Big Walnut, the Big Nut. So, yeah. Going with Big Walnut. Alright, next game. Number 22, Dublin Kaufman against number 7, Gahanna Lincoln. I'm going with Gahanna Lincoln. Alright, the next game is going to be Olentangy Liberty, the number 8 team, against number 17, Dublin Jerome. I'm going to go Dublin Jerome on this one. Alright, so Westerville Central against number 9, Olentangy. So somehow Central was able to beat Dublin Jerome last week, which was insane. I don't know how that was possible, but they did. And wasn't that a game I picked last week? I'm pretty sure. Let me look back at my picks for last week. Because I'm pretty sure that was a game I picked. Yep. And Central won against Dublin Jerome, which was insane. But Olentangy's going to beat Central. There's no chance that Central beats Olentangy. That's insane. So yeah, Olentangy over Westerville Central. Alright, so number 19, New Albany against number 11, Hilliard Bradley. I'm going Hilliard Bradley. Alright, next one we got Graham versus London. London is the ranked 12th team in Columbus. I'm going London. Excuse me. Alright, next game we got Marysville against Hilliard Davidson. And I'm going to go with Hilliard Davidson. And Hilliard Davidson's 15th in Columbus, so obviously going to go Hilliard Davidson. Alright, next game is going to be number 16, St. Francis de Sales against George Rogers Clark. That's a long name for a high school. But also St. Francis de Sales is pretty long too. I am going with St. Francis de Sales. Next matchup, number 20, West Holmes against Madison Comprehensive. I'm going to go with West Holmes. Alright, next game, number 23, Bishop Hartley against Baden. I'm going with Baden to beat Bishop Hartley. Next game, Hilliard Derby versus Grove City. Number 24, Grove City. I'm going Grove City. And then we got New Lexington versus number 25, Tri-Valley. I'm going with New Lexington to beat Tri-Valley. So, yeah. Alright, and now it is time for Colton R's High School Football Game of the Week. Now, this was pretty tough to choose the Game of the Week because there's a lot of good matchups, but I think this one's pretty good too. It is number 4 Pickerington Central against number 13 Canal Winchester. Now, Pick Central, they're 3-1. Their only loss was to their rival Pickerington North. And Canal Winchester, they haven't lost a game yet. So yeah, and I believe this is a conference matchup between Pick Central and Canal Winchester. So whoever wins this game probably will be, the favorite to win the conference in their division in the OCC. Because, yeah, the OCC's got like 5 or 6 divisions in the Ohio Capital Conference, which is crazy. And if you win your division, you're basically the conference champion. So, yeah. No outright conference champion. So, just division conference champions or whatever. The OCC is weird. But yeah, pick Central, Canal, Winchester. Whoever wins this game will be the favorite to win the championship in the conference. And you know what? I think I'm going to go with pick Central. Because, yeah, they lost to their rival. But hey, that will motivate them to, win the OCC. Win the whole OCC title in their division. So yeah, I'm picking Pickerington Central to beat Canal Winchester. And I hope I'm right. So yeah. And you know what's crazy? There's no Friday Night Rivals game in this top 25 list this list of football games that I have, because the Friday Night Rivals game is a unranked matchup. I forget who it was against. I think it was like Worthington Kilbourne against one of the Dublin schools. I think it was Scioto. Maybe, I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, it was an unranked matchup, so not important. So yeah. All right, that's it for the high school football games. Then before I end this episode, here are the college football games that you guys need to watch out for. The first one is Texas Tech versus Utah, a ranked Big 12 matchup, and I do believe Texas Tech will be Utah. So yeah, Texas Tech over Utah. The next game is Auburn versus Oklahoma. I hope Auburn beats Oklahoma, because that would be funny. And then you got the Cheaters up north against Nebraska. I'm picking Nebraska to win in an upset. And then finally, Illinois versus Indiana. I could care less. I don't care who wins or loses. So yeah, I don't care who wins or loses in this game. It just tells us Ohio State fans who we have to worry about more. Illinois or Indiana. We had to play Illinois after we play Minnesota. So, yeah, if Illinois wins, we got to worry about Illinois. If Indiana wins, we got to worry about Indiana, because they might play us in the Big Ten title game. Maybe. Who knows? If we get to that point. So, yeah. But, yeah, I think that's it for this episode, guys. So, thank you all so much for tuning in and listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it. And also, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And also, check out my other videos I've uploaded to my channel. And also, if you're just starting on this episode, I got a whole playlist of, episodes of this podcast from episode 1 to episode 5. And, well, right now, as this one's uploaded, this one. So, yeah. You can watch episodes 1 through 5, and if you want to, you can watch episode 6 all over again. But you don't have to. Only if you want to. So, yeah. But, yeah. And also check out my gaming content. It is cool. Pretty cool. Alright. I believe that is it. So, with that, guys, I will see you all next week for when we talk about what happened during the Ohio State bye week, which is the other teams playing, and also we preview the Washington game, and we talk about maybe we'll talk about the NFL, who knows, and I'll make my picks for the week 6 of high school football in the Columbus metro area. So yeah. So with that, guys, thank you all again for tuning in, and I'll see you all next week. So, yeah. See you guys then.
Disappointed!
Lordy, we have a bye week. That's a shame.